Now on BBC One, Paul Rogers stars as a best-selling author in Brigadista.
Any Hodges?
Good morning, it's Norman Campbell from the Edinburgh Mail, returning a call.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, I just phoned into the office, got your message. Did James Fuller-Hayes come with you?
No, he gets in from New York tomorrow.
New York, eh? Remind me to ask him what life's like in the fast lane.
Look, the reason why I called was that I thought you might like to do your interview with him over breakfast on Friday morning. What do you think?
What time does he have his breakfast?
8 o'clock?
Oh, yeah, oh, that sounds fine. Look, I'm going to be in Glasgow for the rest of the day, so why don't we meet up round about lunchtime for a wee drink or something?
Yes, that should be fine. I've only got one meeting this morning. What time?
About 1 o'clock.
Sure. Where?
Where? Look, there's a nice wee bar called the Horseshoe Bar in Drury Street. No, look, I tell you what, I'll pick you up outside the City Chambers. Everybody knows where that is.
No, I'll find it.
How will I recognise you? Is it Carnation, rolled up copy of the Times?
Look out for a bewildered blonde carrying a bulgy briefcase.
You're obviously bewildered it's not all stony ground north of Watford.
Funny you should say that.
OK, I'll see you about 1 o'clock then.
I look forward to it.
Bye.
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 Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Hope it goes well.
Hello, Penny Hodges.
The same.
Nice to see you in the flesh.
Hello, Norman.
So, do you find it all right?
Yes. Well, I cheated and got a taxi. The driver said that everybody knew it. He said it was full of hack reporters conspiring to hide the truth from the proletariat.
Oh, yeah. What was he driving? A black Moskvich. So, what would you like, eh?
Oh, a large tonic, please.
Is it so?
Ice and lemon?
Joanne, can I have a large tonic, please, with ice and lemon?
Popular place.
Oh, yes. Conspirators to a man. So, is this your first time north of the wall?
No, but I must confess I've only been to Glasgow before.
I'm surprised we're not all dressed as transvestites.
I thought you only did that when you went to London.
Touché. I think there should be a couple of stools over there. Would you like to sit? Joanne? Yes, I did. And I read it.
What do you think?
No, non-fiction is certainly a change for him. I think what surprised me most was that he'd actually fought in Spain.
I think it surprised a lot of people.
Certainly comes as a surprise to his readers. Hiding his light under a bushel all that time. Thanks.
Cheers.
Slange. So why do you think he's left it till now to write it?
You know?
The feeling he's waited till his literary reputation was safe before slipping this one in. Never really thought of him as a closet communist.
Oh, I don't think he's that at all.
The Spanish Civil War's always been a fairly emotive subject. Especially here in Scotland. A lot of Scots went to Spain, hell of a lot didn't come back.
Do you think it'll sell?
Not Penny, asking me is like asking an Eskimo how to cope with a heat wave. If it was anyone else, I think I'd say not. What's he like, anyway?
Oh, he's, let me see. He's Donish, sophisticated, well-groomed, divorced, speaks Spanish and Italian, talented, tolerant.
Helps old ladies across the road and diesel load. Come on, Penny, these are publicists' adjectives. I mean, is he the kind of guy who likes a list of questions submitted before an interview?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, he's very open-minded. By the way, you know, he fought in Spain with some Glaswegians. Now, is there any chance of finding out if they're still alive?
Not going to do it. This is your life on him, are you?
I have it on good authority that he likes being surprised.
You should buy him a whoopee cushion.
I'm serious.
Just hold on a sec. Penny, this is Bertie Goff.
How'd you do?
He's alleged to work for the Socialist Weekly. It's Penny Hodges, and she's up here doing a publicity tour with James Fuller Hayes.
Didn't think he needed publicity.
And we're doing a nationwide tour.
All over Scotland.
Great Britain to promote his new book.
What's it about the Spanish Civil War?
No, the International Brigade.
No, his usual style.
He was with them.
Come on, you're kidding.
No, she's right. There's a photograph. There he is.
Norma's going to do an interview with him.
What are you paying?
200 in news notes.
Your father was in Spain, wasn't he?
So he was. I'm proud of it.
Do you know any of the old International Brigaders here in Glasgow?
Know them, of course I know them. My old man was the brigade secretary for years.
Any idea if any of these guys are still alive? There's a list somewhere.
It's under that picture.
Jerry McCann, he's dead. Martin Stickley. He died at Ebro. Bob McLeish, he's still alive. Billy Sharkey, so's he. Why are you asking? Are you afraid they're going to sue you?
Not at all. It's just that Mr. Hayes is coming here tomorrow, and I thought it would be a nice surprise if we met some of the people that he was with 46 years ago.
I would ask them first.
Any idea where these guys stay?
Well, I've no idea where Billy Sharkey stays these days, but Bob McLeish lives in Clydebank. What's the name of that avenue? Drummond Avenue. Oh, that's it, Drummond Avenue.
A pint for the number.
Norman, you can do better than that with your money.
I'm paying. Oh, they will take English money then.
Okay, Penny, as it's you, a pint of lager. It's 20. If it's no, it's near.
A half for the phone number.
People like Bobby can't afford phones.
Hey, missus. I'll wash your car for £1.
No, thanks. It'll only get dirty again.
It says watch it, no wash it, stupid.
Oh, did she now? Does Mr. McLeish live here?
Don't know. A measly 50p.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it's only half mine.
Aye,
Mr. McLeish?
that depends. You're Jehovah's Witness?
No, I'm not. I'm from a publishing company called Hurstle. My name's Penny Hodges.
I'm no interested in him.
I'm not selling anything, Mr. McLeish. I'd just like to give you this and have a little chat with you, that's all.
I've no time for chat.
Well, will you take the book then?
What's the catch?
Absolutely no catch. It's a gift from the publishers.
How come you pick me, no somebody else?
Because it's you that the author's writing about, not somebody else.
What is he? Social Security investigator?
Mr. McLeish, I wish you'd just take a look at the
But,
book.
I'm sorry, I think you've really come the wrong door here. Try Alec up the stair there, he'll take anything for nothing.
The book's about the Spanish Civil War, the International Brigade.
Is it? What did you say the writer's name was again?
James Fuller Hayes. He was with you in Spain.
Hayes. Well, that doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, look, that's him there. Do you recognise him now?
Would you like to come in a minute?
Thank you.
Oh, mind your feet that right there. Kids, you know. It's through here, right there. That's right, just sit down, sit down. Want a wee cup of tea?
No, thank you, Mr. McLeish.
You like a wee drop of something stronger?
No, nothing, thank you.
I was just getting my grandson's teas. I stay here with my daughter, you see her. Her man got drowned. You know that oil rig that turned upside down in the North Sea?
Oh, yes, I remember that. It was dreadful.
Ah, real tragedy. Never found him, not a trace. He left 2 grand boys, though. That's them. That's Duncan, he's 13, and Gary's 11. They're the real gaffers in this house. Have you any children?
No, I'm not married. Do you want to see if you recognise the photograph?
Oh, why? The photograph. Gary sat in my glasses. I'm waiting to get them back. It's Bongo.
Who?
Bongo. That's what we used to call him. And he's wrote this book.
Why did you call him Bongo?
Oh, that's a long story.
I think there's a picture of you in there. Yes, that's you there, look.
Is that me? That's no me. No, that's no me. No, I don't think that's me.
Mr. McLeish, James Fuller Hayes, Bongo, is coming here tomorrow from New York.
New York, eh?
Now, he can only stay until Sunday morning, and I'd like you to meet him. He'd love to see you.
I don't really think I'd have the time. See, I've got the boys to see to. My daughter works in the infirmary, you know.
Oh, come on, Mr. McLeish, just for half an hour. You'd really enjoy it. I'm sure you would.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd have the time.
Do you know Billy Sharkey?
Where's Billy going?
I'm sure he would, but I don't know how to contact him. Do you have his address?
Billy lives with his sister.
Do you have her address?
No.
Well, look, it's 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, someone will meet you, and a photographer's going to be there, so you get your pictures in the paper, you know.
Oh, that's so.
Yes, just think what Duncan and Gary would say if their granddad had his picture in the paper.
Oh, they'd like that.
And if you want to get a taxi, I'll pay for it.
I don't know. It's been such a long time.
Well, keep the book anyway. At least you can tell your grandsons that somebody's written about you. And if you feel that you want to come tomorrow night, well, it'd be lovely to see you.
I'll think about it.
Thank you. Oh,
Number 1, Kelly's Eye, blind 40, 4-0, 35-35, 39-39, 83-83. Number 2, on its own, 14-14, 77, all the sevens. Number
Bobby,
5, on its
what are you
own,
doing here?
Came to see you.
76.
What for? Yeah, what was that last number? What did it call there?
24
78.
to 4.
I saw it. Look at that. I don't know why I come here. This bloody thing's fixed.
You remember Bongo?
Bongo. Aye. Why are you asking? He's wrote his book. Has he? What's it about?
It's about us in Spain.
Oh. Where did you get that?
Wee English lassie for the publishers gave it to me. She was asking about you.
Me? What about me?
She says Bongo is going to be in Glasgow tomorrow night. She wants us to meet him.
Does she now? You read this?
No. Gary sat in my glasses. I brought it for you to read.
Ah, but why does she want us to meet him?
She says we'd get her photos in the paper.
Photos in the paper. Who'd put your ugly mug in the paper? You're hardly page 3 material.
It's true, that's what she told me. She says I could take a taxi to the hotel and she'd pay for the taxi.
Ah, she was saying that just to get you there.
Says no.
Oh, quids in, eh?
No thanks to you. I could have lost that house just now with you gabbing away. I could hardly hear the numbers.
Aye, that's right. Do you mind letting me past?
Oh, sure. I'll take a deep breath.
Cheeky bugger.
Better super I need at Scarecrows. Come on. Fancy a cup of tea?
Aye, sure.
I'm down in the decimal house number 72-72, 87, 87. Number 10,
Aye, there's coffee. No, cheese.
30,
2 teas.
34. Number 9, on
So, what are you going to do?
number 11,
You going to go and see him?
double 1,
I'll have to read it and see what he says first.
Do you think you might?
line 20
I might.
to 0.
What do you mean you might?
Don't worry, comrade. If I do, you'll be the first to know.
So that looks okay. See you tomorrow morning. Thanks for your help. Bye-bye. The TV interview's all set up. No, it's not being networked. I'm afraid he won't like that. Still, we might get some coverage of the old comrades reunion in the press. Well, I don't know. One of them might turn up, but nobody seems to know where Billy Sharkey stays. You don't live up here, you stay.
Thank you. Shall I dedicate it to someone?
Andrew Curry, please.
To Andrew Curry. Hope he enjoys it.
Thank you.
Thank God for books, eh, Mr. Hayes?
Thank God for books indeed, sir.
I've read all these here. You see, at my age, Mr. Hayes, a piece of good fiction is the only thing left to transport, amaze, and amuse me. But I'm a bit doubtful about this one.
Why is that?
Because I've always found that historians try and create truths from half-truths. They always seem to relate not what was done, but what they believed was done.
Usually they don't have the benefit of my first-hand knowledge. Shall I dedicate it to someone?
Oh, to me. Just put to W. Gardner, if you please.
W. Gardner. I think you'll enjoy reading Brigadista, Mr. Gardner.
At £8.50, I certainly hope so.
That's the lot.
We still have another 15 minutes.
How many did we sell?
About 80.
Evidently Scots don't read. Why aren't you printing 40,000 hardback? This was 100,000 first run.
I think it's because it's non-fiction.
What are we doing paperback?
200,000.
That's what we should have done, hardback. What have we got after lunch?
Well, I thought you might like to have a rest until 4:30.
What happens 4:30? More pen pushing?
You've got the television interview.
Oh, yes. Is it live?
No, taped. Goes out a couple of hours later. And then there's another signing session.
What have you got to transport, amaze, and amuse me after that?
Well, this evening, I've...
Mr. Hayes,
Yes, that's me.
I'd just like to say, Mr. Hayes, that I'm a great fan of yours. I admire your work very much indeed.
Thank you very much. That's good to know.
I've read all your books. Queen of Anna. Oh, I really enjoyed that one. I must have read it at least 3 times.
How did you find Ariana Durazzo?
Oh, I enjoyed that too, but I thought that they would have got married in the end.
Dislocation of expectation, madam. You'll enjoy Brigadista. Where's your copy?
Oh, I'll get it when the paperback comes out.
You'll have to wait at least 12 months for that to appear.
I'll wait. I've enjoyed talking to you, Mr. Hayes.
Thank you. Should we call time? But it's a good idea.
Stand them by, Mike. And run VT6.
Why did you decide to launch the book in Glasgow?
Is this lighting all right? There's a nasty flare off the table.
There's no flare, Mike. Just carry on. Do we see the shot in tube? Yeah. Can you see the shot in tube? You can cue the mic.
It's running now. Yep. Quiet, studio, please.
Mr. Hayes, a question I'm sure many of your readers are going to ask is, why have you waited 46 years to write Brigadista?
Well, for many of us who took part in it, the Spanish Civil War is rather like an amputated leg. It may have long disappeared, but we still get the occasional twinge. My twinge has been nagging me for the past 40-odd years.
You were, of course, very young when you went to Spain.
Yes, I was. I was 20, just down from Oriel, and being somewhat of a runner, I decided to go to the European Games in Barcelona. As a spectator, you understand. That was June 1936, and as we all know, Civil War started in July.
And you just decided to stay on and enlist in the International Brigade?
Well, the decision wasn't exactly a cut and dry decision.
Question of being two.
I remember thinking of it very carefully, and also believing, as many of us did at the time, that the war would be over fairly quickly. I'd been in the Corps at school, and the Officers' Training Corps. And naturally, I assumed that my military expertise would be useful to the Republic. In the event it wasn't, I wasn't given the opportunity to demonstrate that expertise.
Yes, from your book I get the impression that you look back at your time in Spain
Come to one again.
with a certain degree of disillusionment.
One.
Originally, I wanted the title of the book to be
Oh, there are three.
Journey of a One-Eyed Man. My publisher thought it a trifle long. A one-eyed man sees the world in 2 dimensions only, rather like looking at a picture, completely flat. I came to the conclusion, looking back, that I'd had no real sense of perspective. Then who would at 20?
Do you mean by that you didn't believe wholeheartedly in what you were fighting for?
No, on the contrary. No, I sincerely believed what I was fighting for. I was quite clear about that. Till the gloves were finally off in the fight against fascism, and there I was, in the ring.
Were you a communist?
Sincerely believed what I was fighting for. I was quite clear about that. The gloves were finally off in the fight against fascism, and there I was, in the ring.
Were you a communist?
No. I was never a member of the Communist Party, if that's what you mean. At the time, I'd say I was more a romantic Marxist.
A Marxist? He couldn't get himself arrested for being a bloody Marxist. Shut that thing off, Bobby.
You say the last time that
all
either of you
7
ever
months.
saw him was in 1936?
That's right. University City, Madrid. Just before Christmas, is that right, Bill?
That's right. It was on a road going down to the river.
Since then, neither of you has ever thought that he and the James Fuller Hayes might be one and the same.
Never crossed my mind. If it had, I might have clipped him for a few bob for the Brigades Association.
Andy, my son-in-law, you haven't got drowned. He used to read all his books. We've still got most of them in the house.
£12.22, please.
There are a couple of people that I think you ought to meet. They're from the local paper.
Why do you keep till tomorrow?
Not if you want to catch the midday editions.
Mm-hmm. He's on his way. Right, thanks a lot. He's on his way up.
James, I think you remember Bob McLeish and Billy Sharkey, don't you?
I don't believe it. Hello, Jimmy.
University City. Hey, Jimmy.
Bobby McLeish. Billy Sharkey. Good God, I thought we were both dead.
Oh, no way. Sorry, Shank, but good minds, eh?
Benny, do you realize the last time I saw these 2 rascals was 47 years ago? Did you find them?
Well, sort of.
I don't believe it.
I wouldn't have recognized you.
Put on a bit yourself.
You're a wee bit fuller in the face as well.
Quite a reunion, eh, Mr. Hayes?
It's a bombshell.
And what does it feel like after all these years?
What's it feel like, Bobby?
Oh, it's missing a couple of rifles and a sandbag parapet, eh?
And Jerry. And Martin.
What happened to Martin?
He got his at the Ebro.
Can I have you all in a line together, please? Mr. Hayes in the middle.
Thanks.
A wee bit closer.
Right.
Just one more, please, and just a wee bit closer together this time. Smashing. Lovely. Thanks very much.
Mr. Hayes, I'm afraid we've got to go off now and cover another story.
I understand perfectly.
So if it's all right, I'll come back tomorrow, about 11, say?
Can you make it 10:30?
Aye, that'll be fine.
Have a drink before you go.
No, thanks. I'll take you up on that tomorrow. Right, bye, lads. Enjoy yourselves.
Hey, don't forget that picture.
Aye, don't worry, I'll send you a copy.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. So, you're a big-time writer now, eh?
Pays the rent.
Aye. You don't seem to be doing too badly out of it.
So much to catch up on. What did you do when you came back?
Me, same as I was doing before I left. In the Boilermakers Union.
He was the area convener for Clyde Bank. His own secretary and all. Didn't you, Billy?
Oh, aye, I've had a lot of things in my time. Like the fancy clock they gave me when I retired. It was to tell me how long I had left.
He never put any batteries in it.
Sorry, ladies, private property. I think yours is next door.
What about you, Bobby?
this and that. I travelled about quite a bit. Then I got married and a couple of wee girls and worked for the council. Are you married?
I was. Were you called up?
Called up? We didn't wait to be called up. We volunteered.
They wouldn't take us.
Well, why ever not?
Our cards were marked right from the start. I volunteered for the Black Watch. Told them I knew all about dealing with the fascists. Would they take me? No chance. Said I was in a reserved occupation, building ships.
Same with me. I mean, I passed my medical for the RAF. I had a number and everything. This letter comes one morning telling me to report to a torpedo factory. Walked in the morning, thought they'd send me up in a plane. Walked out at night, a civilian. What about you?
Oh, I joined the army. I was in North Africa, Italy, came out a captain.
Oh, captain, were you?
When did you start this writing business?
In Spain, actually. I kept a diary.
Well, I don't remember that.
Yes, you do. You remember that fat Belgian gunner who had no toilet paper?
He was the only one.
You remember the argument I had with him about my writing being sacrosanct? He wanted the first 10 days.
That's right. You've put that in your book.
You've read it then?
Yes, I've read it.
Well, that's where it started. And when I was demobbed, I got a job on the Daily Express.
The Express? That was a real fascist rag in 1937. Supported Franco right up to the hilt. I remember that well. Nothing about the war in Spain, no. One sigh from Mrs. Simpson was worth 1,000 dead.
We nearly finished up in the sports page. Oh, haven't you seen no?
A long time since I've had any bubbly. The only thing that gets between my top set and my gums.
Do you remember that concoction we used to drink in Spain? Do you remember that?
Oh, that was terrible stuff.
They used to call it Anis del Mono, monkey anise. Do you remember? It had a red monkey on the label. They said if you drank a whole bottle, the monkey would dance on the table.
I don't remember a red monkey.
You do. We drank it that night in Chinchon. The night they attacked Bordilla. You remember that, surely?
Chinchon? We were never in Chinchon.
Yes, we were. The place where all the tiles slid off the town hall roof and killed the mayor.
That was San Martin de la Vega, not Chinchon.
Ah, that's right. Oh, I remember that, because old Martin used to claim that it was called after him.
Oh, wherever it was. You remember the red monkey, don't you?
Now, speaking personally, I'm not that fond of animals.
Sounds like we're not the only ones celebrating. Look, let's go up to my room, shall we? You know what I've got there?
Couple of lasses.
Changed, does he? No, but I do have a duty-free bottle of 15-year-old malt.
Ah, I'm not much of a malt man myself.
Penny will get you whatever you want. Come on, I can't stand this noise.
Are you sure it's all right?
Of course it's all right. Come on, Billy.
Are you staying here, then?
Well, this is where they put me, yes.
Hurry up, Billy. Slow as an old woman gone for the malt.
What would you like?
Oh, a couple of lagers, maybe.
On my way. Could you send some drinks up to Mr. Hayes' suite? Yes, I'll get room service for you.
Hey, do you remember a fella called Flaming?
He was 5 Corps Commander, wasn't he?
No. That was Van Rink. Flaming was the flame that got wounded in Pinto. He was shot in the back by some bloody Trotskyist. Looked a bit like Ronald Coleman, didn't he, Bobby?
Well, he was in London then. Oh, a reunion about 6 years ago, you know. Hey, he comes up to me. I haven't seen him for 30 years. Hello, Bob. You look fine, he says. Kisses me in both cheeks. Then he says, you owe me 50 centimos.
What did you owe him that for?
He said I bet him and spend it when you see the other side of Christmas.
Did you pay him?
No. Couldn't change a pound.
How come you've never been to any reunions?
Well, I don't know. Usually by the time I found out there was a reunion, it was too late.
You never put your name in the list.
Quite honestly, Bobby, I never believed my contribution in Spain warranted my going on the list.
That's not the impression you give in your book. How come you've waited this long to write it? I was saying, how come you've waited till now to write your book?
Oh, they were all writing their memoirs when they came back. I admit I was tempted, but in retrospect, I think I made the right decision. In those days, I was young and impetuous, at least. Now, I tend to express myself with some degree of caution. I suppose I wanted to get it out of my system before I shuffle off this mortal coil.
You're not that old.
I'm 67. How old are you?
72.
You, Bobby?
Me, 70.
Go in.
How much are you paying for this?
No idea. Have a seat. Make yourselves comfortable.
They never get this out of the cooperative, eh? Someplace. Some gear, eh?
Ah, it's a bit quieter up here, eh?
Aye. Well, all the best, Jimmy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have you ever been back?
Oh, I went back for the first time last year. I did a tour of the battlefields, and I marched in the May Day parade in Barcelona. Not very many dry eyes that day, I can tell you.
Oh, I've been back a couple of times. Well, I took the wife to Torremolinos and we went to Benidorm.
Weren't you afraid?
Afraid of? Oh, oh, they wouldn't know me from Adam. Oh, I didn't go about singing the International, you know what I mean?
Suppose you've been back.
Well, there's been a translation of one of my books.
Ah, I thought you'd have went to that party.
Alvaro here, from Santander, would you believe?
Oh, Alvaro. Whiskey, muy bueno, eh, senor? Better than that old vino, eh?
Oh, it's too strong for me, sir.
Just the one, please. Quite a change from anise, eh? Do you have any anise del mono, Alvaro?
No, sir. The only anisette we have is Mari, Prasad, or Colonel.
Oh, this is all right for me.
Could you put it on the bar, please?
Certainly.
Salud. Amor y pesetas.
Salud, camaradas.
All the best.
Hey, you brought your own sandwiches, Billy.
Or would you like me to order you some?
There's a few points in your book here that I'd like to take up with you.
Oh, come on, Billy. It's a reunion, not a commissar's caucus in the trenches.
Did you enjoy it, Mr. Sharkey?
Don't get me wrong, Jimmy. I don't want to criticise your writing. It's a good read. It's a very good read. But for a so-called factual record, there are quite a number of things in here that, how shall we say, don't exactly coincide with the truth.
Any truth has several aspects. Doesn't it, Bobby?
For instance, small point, page 96. You say that on the 1st of November, we were in the trenches at Carabanchel.
We were?
Not so. Definitely not. Not on the 1st of November.
You remember so precisely, after 47 years?
Sure. You see, the 1st of November is my birthday. And that particular birthday, I spent all day on a train with Bobby here and Martin. Right, Bobby?
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Train kept stopping and starting all day long.
Maybe it was the 11th.
Ah, well, that's nearer.
Why is the date so important?
Why? Because you took a chunk out of my life without accounting for it.
Fair enough. We'll get it corrected in the second edition, won't we, Penny?
Yes, it's just a typographical error. It's easily corrected.
Oh, aye. Well, there's another one here you might not find so easy to correct. It's page 108, and I quote, Jerry picked himself up, his face flushed with the cheap brandy, and continued to sing, Billy Sharkey, he was there. The fascist he did wriggle. He shoved a bayonet up his arse and split him down the middle.
Ah, he was a great one for singing, Jerry.
Shut your gob, Jerry, cried Wild Billy. Wild because of his fiery temper and no quarter attitude toward any nationalist who should be so unfortunate as to fall into his hands. Now, what sort of crap is that?
Crap, Billy. Well-documented fact about the fight you had with Jerry. Bobby'll bear me out.
I'm not talking about the fight. I'm talking about you making me out to be some kind of mad axeman from the Gorbals.
Well, you didn't exactly treat the other side with kid gloves, did you?
Kid gloves? Hey, will you listen to him? What do you think it was? Some kind of bloody cricket match? Oh, I say, you chaps, the Republicans have had their innings. Now it's time for Franco's 11 to bat. Or shall we stop for tea?
Exactly. That's why the Republic lost. Our kind of democracy couldn't work in Spain because the Spaniards didn't understand compromise. Here we decide when one team's batted long enough, then we try to bowl them out, not bomb them out.
Bowl them out. Hey, listen. Do you know what Franco's Moors would have done to your bowls if they'd taken you prisoner? Do you?
Nah, they'd have cut him off and stuffed him down his throat.
Aye.
Remember what they did to that young Yugoslav.
That's right. You know, what's her name?
Penny.
Penny, you see, you're too young to appreciate all this, but we saw things done by the other side that make the Gestapo look like the Sally Army.
Yes, well, I'm sure there was good and bad on both sides.
Oh, well, why didn't he put some of that in, instead of making us out to be a bunch of savages?
Because I didn't witness any of that.
There's a lot in here you didn't witness.
It's not a history of the Spanish Civil War. I present certain facts as I saw them.
Like you see in the television, with one eye shut.
After all this time, you're as intolerant as ever.
Look, gentlemen, Mr. Hayes has a very busy day.
No, just a minute. There's another one here. Just hold on, please. Ah, here it is. This is your chapter, Bobby. Listen to this. Hey, you're going to like this.
Not a lot, but I'll like it.
Why not let him read it himself?
No glasses.
Ready, Bobby? Bobby, who either couldn't or wouldn't take heed of DeWitt's warning about walking upright in the trench, was hit squarely in the balls by a stray bullet.
Oh, Jimmy, that's no true. I was never hit square, I was only grazed. What are my daughters going to think if you go about spreading rumours like that?
It's a question of semantics.
Personally, I like it. You should keep it in. You could say that the Swiss doctor shoved in a couple of Spanish onions instead, sewed them up and packed them off home.
That's why my daughters like hamburgers so much, isn't it?
No, Jimmy. For a factual record, it strays pretty close to fantasy. And that could go on all night.
Oh, there's no hurry. Have a drink.
Billy was saying earlier on, you wrote something else about Jerry.
Yes.
Now, what was that?
I describe how I found him.
How did you find him?
Very dead.
Oh, we know that. What else?
I came across him in no man's land, in that dugout. He was kneeling forward, his head on the ground, and a revolver in his hand.
He'd shot himself.
He was shot by the fascists.
How do you know that?
Because I saw his body when they got it back. He had a hole in his chest up about here, and another one in the back of his head.
He could have been shot after he was dead.
What are you trying to say? You saying he took the easy way out?
No, I'm not saying that, but we all knew he wanted to go home.
We all wanted to go home. I couldn't wait to go home. Neither could Bobby there, as soon as the job was finished.
No way Jerry would have shot himself. He's a braver man than the rest of us put together.
Aye. Now, you say you saw the body. I'm going to ask you a question. Which hand was the revolver in?
What do you mean, which hand?
Well, the last time I saw him, I only had the two hands. Which was the revolver in?
right hand. Why?
Because Jerry was left-handed. That's why. Now, if you're going to do yourself in, if you're going to shoot yourself, you're not going to use the wrong hand, are you?
That's right. He's got a point there.
A determined man has been known to pull a rifle trigger with his big toe.
Big toe, a big toe, my arse. Jerry was one of the best. Jerry was killed fighting for what he believed in. You make no mistake about that.
Jerry took a lot of stick.
Who from? The Flames?
Well, you gave him a lot of stick for a start.
Sure, I gave him a lot of stick. I gave Bobby a lot of stick. Gave you a lot of stick. I gave everybody a lot of stick.
You certainly laid into me.
Why? Because of your background of privilege. Snobbery.
Aren't you forgetting sodomy?
You see, you people, you do a great disservice to the cause. You've never realised, have you, that you can be in the right and still get beaten. That brute force can break your spirit. And all the courage in the world isn't enough.
Billy, you've got to put your time in Spain into an historical context.
Historical context? Ugh, you're a lot of shit. Look, when Bobby there and me, aye, and you too for that matter, when we're all dead and gone, people are going to pick up that book and they'll say, oh, James Fuller Hayes, the famous writer, wrote this. Therefore, what he says in it must be true, and so it'll become history. What gives you the right to be the custodian of our history?
Well, if you feel so strongly, why have you never written about it yourself?
Ah, we can't write books. The middle classes have got a monopoly on writing books.
Anyway, you left out the last chapter.
What do you mean I've left out the last chapter?
You left out the bit about you deserting.
You're talking rubbish.
Oh, no, no. Oh, he deserted all right, Penny. Left his comrades and pissed off home.
I was wounded.
My arse, you were wounded. Why was it the Flames wanted to have you brought back and shot?
What's that then? Scotch mist?
That doesn't mean anything. Hey, Bobby, tell Penny what we used to call him.
We used to call him Bongo.
Look, I don't think you ought to rake over old ground like this. The mere fact that you went to Spain in the first place shows that you're all very brave.
Tell her. Tell her what Bongo stands for.
It was a joke. A stupid, meaningless joke.
No, it was no joke. Every time we were ordered to go over the top, and the bullets were coming down a bit thick, old Jimmy here would always come out with, better off not going on, comrades.
Every time, regular, like a bloody cuckoo clock. Better off not going on. B-O-N-G-O, Bongo, get it?
Yes. And we lost more good men through suicidal orders and criminal incompetence than you could ever imagine.
And you decided to jack it in.
I was hit in the leg.
Oh. No, it's all right. Leave it, I'll get it. Sorry. Right. This is from the News Chronicle, June 15th, 1937. It's written by a reporter called Suckling, who was in Valencia at the time. And he says, a deserter from the International Brigades, a Mr. X, an Oxford graduate, mark you, escaped from Spain with the aid of a female employee of its Ministry of War. As a result of her helping him to escape, she was later executed by the militia.
So what?
Suckling wrote that. He was a bona fide reporter.
That doesn't refer to me.
As I remember, Oxford graduates were not very thick in the ground at that time.
Look, how many times do I have to spell it out for you? I did not desert. I was hit in the leg and carted off to hospital.
I mean, a man in his position, it would be more than his job was worth to write a thing like that if it wasn't the truth.
I met Suckling, certainly. Once, while I was in hospital. If he was writing about me, Why write Mr. X and not Mr. H?
Because you'd have sued him, that's why. Ah, but you didn't, did you? And some poor wee lassie got the bullet for helping you to sod off.
Whoever it was got the bullet. One of your bloody Stalinist comrades put it there.
Gentlemen, please.
Let her speak.
Thanks. Look, I've listened to everything you've said, and quite frankly, I don't think it's doing any of you any good at all. For me, the only thing worth remembering about the past is that it's past. Can never be restored. Listening to you hack away at each other with all these brittle accusations just makes me very sad.
Good on you, Penny. Well spoken.
This was supposed to be a reunion, not a
pissing contest.
Yes, well, I wouldn't have put it quite like that. Look, I have difficulty in remembering what happened to me last year.
Yeah, but the difference between you and us, Penny, is that our world stopped in 1939.
Compliments of the management, gentlemen.
Hey, Alfonso.
Alvaro, sir.
Oh, sorry, Alvaro, aye, Alvaro, aye. Do you remember a song they used to sing in Spain during the war?
Which song, sir?
Well, da 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 da.
Listen to Harry Lauder.
Da dee 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 da da da. But it was plenty of something or other. I mean, everybody used to sing it all the time.
Puente de los franceses. Do you know it, Alvaro? Puente de los franceses. Puente de los franceses. Puente de los franceses. Mamita mía. Nadie te pasa. Porque los madrileños. Porque los madrileños. Porque los madrileños, mamita mía. Que bien te guardan, que bien te guardan.
My God, that takes me back a bit. A long while since I heard that.
Did you know that, Alvaro? All the Spaniards used to sing it.
Well, sir, yes, I know the tune, but not the words. Well, would that be all, gentlemen?
Yes, thank you, Alvaro.
Long time ago, eh, Billy?
Aye. Come on, Bobby. Bedtime.
It's good of you to come.
Yes, thank you both very much for coming.
It makes a change. Hey, Billy?
Aye, yes, sir. I don't suppose we'll ever see each other again. Oh, you never know. Bye, Bobby.
Bye, Jimmy. Look after yourself now.
You too. All these years, and you're still as hard as ever, eh, Billy?
Do you know the biggest mistake you ever made in your life?
What was that?
Not letting that Belgian wipe his arse in your diary.
I'll give you that.
Oh, that's too much.
Take it.
Should have warned you, shouldn't I?
Come on, Bobby. Thanks, Ben. Take good care of yourself now, eh?
You too.
I could have sworn that was how it all happened. My memory's always been so clear. I prided myself on it.
It can play tricks on us occasionally.
I can't believe that. They think my book's a load of... just a dubious ego trip. That's being euphemistic.
I didn't think so.
That's what they think, all right.
Was there really a Spanish girl?
What?
The Spanish girl.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure that's true. I remember it very clearly. She got me a safe conduct pass. She was very pretty. They couldn't have shot her because of me, could they? They couldn't do that.
Morning, Penny.
Morning, Norman.
Back in, I see.
Condemned prisoner at a hearty breakfast.
Oh, dear. It's like that, is it?
Very much like that.
No, just a coffee, please. Well, aren't you going to give me a few points for keenness, considering the fact that I'm 15 minutes early?
You're too late.
Late? We said 8 o'clock, didn't we?
We did, but he's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
Checked out 6 o'clock this morning.
Well, just like that?
Just like that. The night porter booked him on a flight to Dublin.
Oh, that's terrific. Did he say anything before he went?
Sorry you've had a wasted journey.
Sorry for my abrupt disappearance. Although I can't stop the publication of Brigadista, I will not participate in personal publicity to encourage its sale. I don't understand. What's brought this about?
Well, I suspect it was my little surprise party last night with comrades McLeish and Sharkey. It turned into, as Mr. Hayes so aptly put it, a pissing contest.
Oh, dear.
Billy Sharkey accused him of distorting history, lying, and being a deserter to boot.
A deserter?
He even produced this newspaper cutting from 1937, would you believe, stating that a certain Mr. X, who he maintains was Hayes, deserted, causing the death of some poor innocent woman who was good enough to help.
That's a bit below the belt. What did Hayes say?
Oh, he denied the whole thing, of course. That the whole thing was a pack of lies.
Was it?
You're not sure, are you?
I really don't know what to think. I mean, it all sounded very convincing last night.
Who wrote the article?
Some fellow called Suckling from the News Chronicle. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, sure have. He was a legend in his time.
Have you ever met him?
No. Must be over 80 by now, if he's still alive, that is. I could find out, though.
I've had quite enough of senior citizens for one day. Thank you very much.
Ah, thanks.
Are you sure you won't have something more substantial as a consolation prize?
I'll think of something. So, what are you going to do now?
Cancel all the arrangements for the rest of the tour and wend my philanthropic way back to London.
Really landed you in it, hasn't he? How do you think you'd do a thing like that?
Maybe he's deserted again. Will you get these off at lunchtime, Sharon?
Hello there.
Hi, Norman.
Hi.
What's this? A no passport day trip to the metropolis?
No, I came to claim my consolation prize. You free for lunch?
Sure. Where's your kilt?
Oh, I take it you've recovered.
Oh, yes. Sackcloth and ashes are bad for the complexion. Come in. By the way, we all enjoyed your piece on James Fuller Hayes.
Oh, that's a relief. I was afraid you wouldn't want to know me.
Well, it wasn't exactly complimentary, but it's pushed the sales up, and that, my dear Norman, is the name of the game.
Any reaction from Hayes?
Nothing. I don't suppose he's seen it yet.
You read all these?
Oh, joking.
So where did he finally get to in the end?
Oh, he surfaced in the Bahamas about a week ago, still feeling sorry for himself and promising to start a new book.
What's he going to call it? Bannock Bun. You know, after I did that piece on him, my curiosity got the better of me. Guess what?
I give in.
I've seen Suckling.
I thought he was dead.
Close, not quite. He's 85 years old. Tracked him down to a nursing home in Carlisle.
And how is he? Still compass?
Oh, yeah. Surprisingly so, considering his age. You remember his famous Mr. X article? Well, you'll be surprised to learn that it was not true.
What do you mean it wasn't true?
Total fiction from start to finish. Made the whole thing up.
What?
He was just bitter because he loaned Hayes 10 quid for his train fare to London. He never got it back.
I don't believe you.
No, Scout's honour. Oh, and a wee Spanish girl supposed to have been shot by the militia?
Go on.
A granny living in Valencia. As alive as you and me.
The old sod. Did you get him to print a retraction?
Oh, I suggested it, of course. He said that, like the News Chronicle, he had shut up shop a long time ago. Who reads retractions anyway, huh? Oh, wait till you hear the best bit. He said that as a practicing reporter, I should know better than to confuse what I read in the newspapers with the truth. I did try to point out to him that in certain journalistic circles, we do try our best not to tell lies.
Did you tell Billy all this?
No, that's the sad part. Billy died last week.
Oh, no.
Yep. Went out for his newspaper. Just collapsed in the street.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, though. Gonna tell Hayes?
No, I think I'll let him wear his hair shirt a bit longer.
Oh, by the way, old Suckling's parting shot wagged his finger at me and said, "Young man, without a few lies, humanity would die of boredom."
He's not a bad judge.
No. Lunch?